112 years ago, the UP Board of Regents had a vision to develop their true firstborn college that will spearhead national development through agriculture. At the foot of Mount Makiling, Edwin B. Copeland, together with 7 faculty and 12 students, embarked on the journey to create the UP College of Agriculture, or UPCA. Through its 112 years of existence, the college has produced over 1,000 technologies and variety of plants and animals, 9 national scientists, over 30 outstanding young scientists, and more than 18,000 graduates contributing to agricultural development. UPCA, now College of Agriculture and Food Science, or CAFS, has been continuously contributing to nation building through its instruction, research, and extension function. A mere 10 years after establishment, the college was able to start breeding works with the production of sugarcane varieties with high productivity and resistance to Fiji and mosaic disease. In the 1920s, the importance of agriculture was intensified, and UPCA was recognized as neighboring countries began sending their students to Los Baños because of the high quality of education. In the 1930s, breeds with superior characteristics such as the Burkhala pig, Los Baños Cantonese chicken, and Philippine cattle were developed. The 1960s was a fruitful decade for research. Makapuno, a coconut cultivar often made into a dessert, was pioneered and perfected. Meanwhile, the Dairy Training and Research Institute was the first in the country to freeze buffalo semen, paving the way for artificial insemination of local carabaos. Along with the establishment of UPLB in the 70s, the college received the prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award for International Understanding, Asia's counterpart for the Nobel Peace Prize. In the same decade, the C4 plants were developed. The soil test kits were produced in support of the Masagana 99 program, and the mango induction technique was introduced. Continuing the production of quality research outputs in the 1980s, techniques to minimize post-harvest losses, the accelerated fish sauce manufacturing process, and the rapid test kit for the detection of pesticide residue on vegetables were developed. The 1990s saw many new varieties across species or crop types, including Sinta Papaya, the first Philippine-bred hybrid, UPLB Gold, a durian variety, and Doña Amelita, a musaenda named after the wife of former President Fidel Ramos. The award-winning National Corn-Based Farmer Scientist RDE Training Program, or FSTP, was also established around this time and still remains as one of the university's primary extension programs. In the field of instruction, the book titled Integrating Sustainable Agriculture in the BSA Curriculum, the UPLB College of Agriculture Experience, was published in 1999. At present, the College of Agriculture and Food Science, or CAFS, continues to be the premier institution of higher learning in agriculture and food science, and remains committed to nation building through its instruction, research, and extension programs. In order to produce the best graduates, all of our courses are outcomes-based education, and continuous improvement of the curriculum is being practiced to meet the challenges of the 21st century. As testament of excellence, CAFS is constantly recognized by different organizations. In research, we continue to implement relevant studies with focus on the 12 priority commodities to address food security. Moreover, technologies are constantly developed to aid in responsible food production. Supplementing these are extension activities to disseminate the knowledge generated to improve food productivity and livelihood of the people. We believe that present technologies will future-proof our food systems. Some of our notable developments are IDTech, Coragenam, Plant Health and Pest Clinic, Pest Management Tools and Techniques, Smarter Pest Identification Technology or SPITech, Snap Hydroponics, Drone Technology, Rapid Immunofilter Assay for Virus Indexing, Nanofertilizers Fertigrow, Hormogrow, Nanobiosensors, and Biochar. We at the College of Agriculture and Food Science will continue to promote and nurture a culture with innovative yet conscientious minds and cutting-edge skills to lead and serve the country and the region. We are one college with one goal towards sustainable food systems.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all our dear Aggies. So we would like to welcome you all to this another webinar episode brought to you by the UPLB College of Agriculture and Food Science. Yes, we are back for the episode 2 of the Plant Health webinar series. For this episode, we will be discussing a very relevant topic on the new association between the invasive pest Spodoptera frugiperda and native parasitoid species in the special region Yogyakarta, Indonesia. I am Claire Tabernelia, a faculty member from the Institute of Weed Science, Entomology, and Plant Pathology, and I will be your host for today's episode. Joining us also this morning as our moderator is Ms. Jezabel Magtoltol, University researcher from the Agricultural Systems Institute. So here are some important reminders for Zoom panelists. So kindly keep your microphones muted at all times to minimize disruptions during the program. To our dear participants, you may type in your questions in the Q&A tab here on Zoom or in the YouTube and Facebook comment sections. So later on, we will have an open forum with our resource speaker to discuss your questions. To formally start the program, we would like to call on our Zoom space, the Director of the Institute of Weed Science, Entomology, and Plant Pathology, Dr. Cheryl A. Yap. Good morning po, Ma'am Sheng.
Girl, thank you. So good morning, everyone. So on behalf of the College of Agriculture and Food Science, welcome to the second episode of the Plant Health webinar series. Spodoptera frugiperda, commonly known as the full armyworm, has been a major concern for agricultural communities worldwide due to its destructive nature. However, there is promising news emerging from Indonesia. Join us as we explore a groundbreaking study that uncovers a novel association between Spodoptera frugiperda and native parasitoid species. During this webinar, our esteemed guest speaker, a leading expert in entomology and pest management, will present the research findings and discuss the implications for sustainable agriculture in Indonesia. This discovery offers hope for the effective biological control of full armyworm as an invasive pest. potentially reducing the need for chemical interventions and minimizing crop damage. Whether you're an academic, a farmer, or simply passionate about safeguarding our food supply, this webinar promises to provide valuable insights and open doors for future collaborations. We at the College of Agriculture and Food Science, we are committed to advancing knowledge and fostering innovation in agriculture. We believe that this webinar will contribute significantly to our collective efforts in ensuring food security and protecting our agricultural ecosystems. We look forward for your participation in this webinar. Together, we can make a difference in the world of plant health and agriculture. Happy learning, everyone.
Thank you very much, Director Yap, for giving us a brief on what is in store for us for this webinar episode. And yun nga po, happy learning to all of us. So for this episode, we are grateful to have with us today our resource speaker, Dr. Iza Nurkumar. So Dr. Nurkumar is an assistant professor of entomology from the Department of Agritechnology, Faculty of Agriculture, Universitas Muhammadiyah, Yogyakarta. He obtained a Doctor of Entomology from Bogor Agricultural University and was a PhD research student fellow at University of Tsukuba. He is a recipient of various academic awards in Indonesia and abroad, as well as an author of scientific publications on insect biology, insect ecology, among others. To discuss the new association between the invasive pest Spodoptera frugiperda and local parasitoid species for biocontrol program, ladies and gentlemen, please give a hand for Dr. Iza Nurkumar.
Hello everyone, I am Iza Nurkumar. I am from Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, Indonesia. In this Plant Health webinar series, I would like to talk about the new associations between the invasive pest Spodoptera frugiperda and local parasitoid species for biocontrol program. The invasive pest is a problem that requires attention because it may threaten agriculture and the variety of local species and cause biotic homogenization. And Spodoptera frugiperda is an invasive pest that distributes worldwide. This pest originally came from United States and is spread across the world, and it found in early 2019 in Indonesia, and now this pest has spread to the entire of island. Since the first reported in Indonesia, there is several research including detection for the presence or absence, the ecology, and also the interaction with natural enemy in the field. However, recently, the Spodoptera frugiperda known has the effect to the agroecosystem, including that Spodoptera frugiperda replaced the position of Asian corn borer Ostrania vernacalis as the primary pest of maize in China. Also in Indonesia, it just reported that the presence of Spodoptera frugiperda decreased the intensity of attack of other Lepidopteran pests and negatively affect the diversity of natural enemy, especially predators. Our preliminary research show a low attack rate from local parasitoid towards Spodoptera frugiperda. Therefore, we need more information regarding the possibility of a new association between Spodoptera frugiperda and local parasitoid to be used in biocontrol program purposes. Regarding the biological control theory, it's been known that classical biological control theory said that invasive pest control can be carried out by importing parasite from the original habitat of the pest, which have been proven as potential biological agents. For example, in Indonesia, We have been several introductions, such as the introduction of Corinus querulus from Hawaii to control Heteropsila cubana. The second is introduction of Anagyrus lopezi from Thailand to control cassava mealybugs, and introduction of Coccidocaris connexa from Colombia to control Siamweed Chromolina odorata. Regarding this theory from the classical biological control and the new association biological control, there is a difference between these two concepts. That in classical biological control, it's been explained that local enemy cannot control the exotic pest and the damage done is far too great. And then this premise also said that the new association between pest and natural enemy will not result in suppression or regulation of the exotic pest because adaptation will take too long. Meanwhile, another theory that called new association biological control said that invasive pests can be controlled by local parasitoid. Here we just arguing whether the theory that adaptation will take too long or not. What does the data say? Therefore, we did a study to study the diversity of parasitoid associated with Spodoptera frugivora for 3 years after it was first discovered in Indonesia as an effort to prepare local biological control agent that potentially to be used in controlling Spodoptera frugivora in the future. Then we do a quick survey natural enemy of Spodoptera frugivora, especially in a parasitoid and predator in special region of Yogyakarta. But in this presentation, I will just talk about the parasitoid. Here that Yogyakarta is located in Java Island, and we did a quick survey in 4 central districts in Yogyakarta, including Sleman, Bantul, Kulon Progo, and Gunung Kidul. For each district, we choose 2 until 3 villages that were selected from each sub-district. So in total, we have around 143 sample points. So we collect all the stage, including egg, larvae, pupae from the field, and then we bring all the sample to the lab to check the natural enemy that appear from our sample. And what the data say from our survey in 3 years, but the data we make it in 4 years. We do survey from 2019 and we got the data in 2020. We did survey in 2020 until this year. And what the data say that in 2020 we only found 1 parasitoid, Staphylococcus plague, but there is a stable increase in the number of natural enemy that found associated with Spodoptera frugivora in the field in Yogyakarta especially. So from this data we can see that adaptation can happen relatively quickly. As Elton in 1958 said that when a parasitoid species is introduced into an ecosystem with a host or host is never been associated, so in this case Spodoptera frugivora previously not in our ecosystem, so when they come, the parasitoid population often rise quickly, often to outreach the level, and its host population becomes suppressed based on this reference. So this statement is in line with our data found that there is stable increase in the number of natural enemy that we found associated with Spodoptera frugivora in the field. So other data also said between the interaction between leaf miner Liriomyza, this is also invasive pest in early 20, and this pest reported has been associated with 11 parasitoids in 2000, and in 2022, this pest reported already associated with 18 local parasitoids. So it's been in 2 years, there is an increase of another 7 association. And the last example, the interaction between exotic natural enemy attacked by local parasitoid, that the godfly, Cecidocarus connexa, that attacked by local parasitoid. But this example took longer time, that this pest reported associated with several local parasitoid after 28 years after introduction. But here we found quick interaction between Spodoptera frugipeda and 15 local parasitoid, including egg parasitoid, larval parasitoid, and pupal parasitoid. Here we found 4 egg parasitoid, like 2 identified Hymenoptera and Telenomus remus, and also Trichogramma. We found also larval parasitoid from Hymenoptera and Diptera, like Aphanteles, Campholetis, Coccygidium, Euphelmus, Micropletis, Stenobrachon, Arctas marmoratus, and Megacelia scalaris. And the last 3 parasitoid is pupal parasitoid from Hymenoptera, including 2 calcid and 1 ichneummonid. From this data, we can see that the most abundant parasitoid is egg parasitoid, Telenomus remus. And this data is correlated with the parasitism rate, that from each region, from Sleman, Bantul, Kulon Progo, and Gunung Kidul. Here we can see that parasitism rate of Spodoptera frugipeda egg by Telenomus remus can reach until almost 90%. It is different with other parasitoid. But here, from the 15 parasitoid, we can conclude only 12 new association formed based on the presence of this parasitoid in the Western Hemisphere, where Spodoptera frugipeda original place. And also, as the dominant parasitoid, here is the interesting part, that Telenomus remus is a native egg parasitoid from Malaysia and also Papua New Guinea. This is a common egg parasitoid used to control pests in the noctuid group, especially Spodoptera species. This parasitoid already introduced to many countries, including America, but it was reported that even though this parasitoid imported from India to America, but the parasitism rate there is low comparing in other countries like Indonesia, Africa, and other ASEAN countries. Here is there is an adaptation process that interfere in the different of the data between this pack, because in the original habitat, Spodoptera frugipeda can control successfully using Selinus species. Why there is a difference between the effectivity of Telenomus remus in Indonesia, Africa, and other ASEAN countries, and in the origin country of Spodoptera frugipeda in America? This could occur because Spodoptera frugipeda is not native to this region. When a parasite can attack a new host species, the host typically suffer greatly. This is the conclusion from the case in Indonesia and other countries that has most dominant parasitoid of Telenomus remus in attacking Spodoptera frugipeda. But in America, the existence of Telenomus remus cannot successfully control them because Spodoptera already evolved in their original natural enemy, making them resistant to other parasitoid to control them in the field. And also, our finding support the hypothesis of new association, that association can be formed with local parasitoids such as Telenomus. Telenomus remus has been used for a long time to controlling another Spodoptera species like Spodoptera exigua in Indonesia. And this evidence lead us to conclude that this parasitoid existed earlier than Spodoptera frugivida in Indonesia. That's why when Spodoptera frugivida reported discovery in Indonesia, even though in the first we cannot find any parasitism rate by Telenomus remus, by time this interaction increased every year in our study. And Hokkanen and Pimental, you can read more in this reference, also said that the original host of the most compelling new association biocontrol agent is closely connected to the new host of the agent was introduced against. And in this case, Spodoptera frugivida is invasive pest in Indonesia, but we already have Spodoptera litura and also Spodoptera exigua. And the original subsequent host has typically belonged to the same genus. That's why when Spodoptera frugivida come, we already have another Spodoptera species, and it was attacked by Telenomus remus. That's why our finding support Hokkanen and Pimental hypothesis that this parasitoid is already attacked and ready to become local natural enemy of Spodoptera frugivida. Therefore, in conclusion, we can conclude that we can use the new concept of new association in preparing biological control agent using Telenomus remus to control Spodoptera frugivida. And we can avoid to use the classical old association biological control theory because it has risk to environment and others. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, we will continue to the discussion, or you can contact me to this email. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Izan, for that comprehensive discussion. Interestingly, Pa Izan introduced us to the parasitoids under the different orders, especially the Telenomus remus that were observed associated from their survey in Yogyakarta, and also the results from the initial screening conducted towards its biocon potential. So for our dear participants, feel free to type in your questions in the Zoom Q&A tab or comment sections of CAP's YouTube channel and Facebook page. While we are compiling your inquiries as part of our documentation, may we request our panelists to join us for a photo opportunity. Kindly open your cameras and flash us your best smiles. So everyone, and there's Dr. Izan. Hi, sir. Okay. So I will count. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, so one more, Sir Arthur. 1, 2, 3, smile. So thank you, everyone. Okay, so you may now turn off your cameras. So may we request Dr. Izan to be with us again in our Zoom space for the open forum. And to facilitate, I would also like to call on Ms. Jezabel Magtoltol, University researcher from the Agricultural Systems Institute. So take it away, Ms. Jessa.
Sure. I'm joining already.
Thank you, Ma'am Claire, and good morning, everyone. Hi, Doc Isan. It is my pleasure to have you for today's episode. At this point of our session, we will entertain questions and clarifications from our audience. We highly encourage you to show your appreciation and love for our speaker by typing your reactions, questions and clarification through the Zoom Q&A chat box and the Facebook and YouTube comment section. You may also use the raise hand function if you wish to ask Dr. Isan and go on live. Once called, please state your name and your organization. So going back to Dr. Isan, I think he is now ready to answer our queries. So, Doc Isan, as an overview for our audience from a global perspective, how serious or critical is the issue of the invasive Spodoptera frugiperda, or also known as the fall armyworm, in the crop sector?
Okay, thank you, Jisabel, for the introduction. I also would thank first, before I start the discussion, I would like to say my gratitude. Thank you very much for inviting me. So three days last week, we invite Dr. Susan from UPLB to talk in our seminar, and this time you invite me, so it's just like symbiosis. We already share our knowledge. So yes, Spodoptera frugivora is an invasive pest that would need require serious attention. Yes, it was reported in all the provinces from Indonesia, but based on my observation, what happened in the field, what is high is the infestation itself, but the damage, I can say that we can still compromise with the damage, because even though the infestation is high, but the damage is still low. Also, in the introduction, I said that based on our previous study, we found very low parasitism rate. Also, we only found 1 until 2 larvae every week from the beginning of the planting session until the harvest session. Also, in another location, it was reported that the infestation is very high, but the damage is still low. That's why we never been heard about the serious report like brown plown hopper that destroying all the paddy. But I hope they will not develop more, because by time the natural enemy already adapted with the situation. So can I jump to the question that already typed by the audience?
So, for the benefit for everybody, sir, Doc Isan, I will. So, from the anonymous attendee po, although I have not seen documented local studies here in the Philippines, based on personal observations, I can say that the same thing is happening, that local NES are adapted quickly to the fall armyworms threat here in the Philippines. What could be the conditions that allow the local natural enemy to quickly adapt to the presence of the FAW?
Okay, yeah. So this is the natural phenomenon, like what to say? Like natural selection. So based on my previous study, at the first we observed the fall armyworm in Yogyakarta. We only found 1 parasitoid associated with fall armyworm. Also, we collect some literature in the region of Indonesia. It was reported they only found 1, even they do not find any natural enemy associated with fall armyworm. Maybe in the beginning, the natural enemy is still not adapted or still not recognize the presence of their potential host. But by time when the plant attacked by parasitoids, so all the ecosystem will affected. So the plant itself will resulting the pheromone to call the parasitoid. So that's why the parasitoid can adapt quickly. Why? As I explained, because this host is potential for them, but they are not present previously in our ecosystem. But when they come, they will adapt quickly as a natural selection process. They can recognize their host and attack them. So that's why the infestation is still low until today. That's why we never heard any serious damage as reported from Africa. But of course, even though the infestation is high and the attack is still low, we need to continuous the monitoring activity so we can prevent from the outbreak caused by this attack. Maybe that's my answer, Jezabel. Thank you.
There is someone who raised their hand po, Patents Gardiner.
Mhm.
Do you want to question live with Doc Isan po?
Yes, I can. My question, is it possible to use invasive plant species to control this invasive pest species?
So, can I call po Patents Gardiner po? He or
Yes,
she? Yes po, sir. You have the floor po.
hello, Doc.
Hello.
Yes, I'm Apatens N. Gardiner, a student of ACROS,
Mhm.
studying agronomy, and from West Africa, Liberia. So in our
Oh.
country, in Liberia, West Africa, is difficult to control pests as people lack technical knowledge, and then sometimes the insect or the pest used, like biological control, is difficult. So I wanted to know if one can use invasive plant species to control such species pests.
Okay, thank you, Apatens Gardiner, for the question. This is interesting, but so you mean you want to use invasive plants, another invasive plant species to control invasive pests? Do you mean like that? So I'm not sure if they use such kind of invasive plant species but I'm not familiar with the control using invasive plant species. But here in a part of integrated pest management, we can use plant to prevent the attack, like using bunker plants, to protect as the fortress maybe in the field. Based on my previous published study, I studied some several host plants that potentially to be attacked by Spodoptera, and what happen if they are intercrop each other. So because they are generalists, they can attack around 300 plant species. So I'm not recommend to use another plant planting strategies to control them. I think Telenomus ramus also present in African continent. I read one publication from them because they also show high parasitism rate. I think we can use this parasitoid maximally because they control in early stage. If the egg already attack, so it's prevent they develop to another stage, so we can save the plant earlier before they become larvae eating the plant. So we did like early control strategy using this parasitoid egg. That's my answer, Apatens Gardiner.
Sir Apatens, did Doc Isan answer your question po? Okay, so let's proceed now to another Q&A here in the Zoom chat box po. From Divina Amalin, thanks Dr. Isan for sharing your research experience. Very informative information, she said. From Sir David C. Gray, I am David C. Gray from UPLB. My question is, are there any challenges when implementing classical biological control approach in Indonesia?
Yes, thank you, Divina. I think thank you too, because I think you recommend me to become speaker in this webinar. And to David, are there any challenge when implementing? Yes, I think the challenge when we apply classical biological control is not only happening in Indonesia, but it must be taken into account in another place too, because classical biological control theory explain that we need to introduce other species from the original habitat to another place that they never present before. As we know, when we introducing a new species, even though they are the beneficial insect, it can affect other agro-ecosystem aspect. And also we need to assess environmental risks. So that's why here we recommend to move from classical biological control to the new association approach when we recommending a natural enemy, because based on this my presentation, we can see that each parasitoid act differently in different region. In the United States, in the original country of Spodoptera frugivora, even though they already imported Telenomus from India, they do not suppress a population for armyworm significantly, because in United States, the most effective parasitoid is Celonus insularis. And we never found that species in Indonesia. Also in other countries like India and Ghana, I think they do not report this parasitoid. By they report another genus of Celonus, even with lower parasitism rate. So maybe what happened if we still continue using classical biological control, maybe we can speculate if we introduce Telenomus, maybe they will compete with Telenomus remus, causing they not effective anymore, and disturbing the ecological balance between Telenomus and fall armyworm in the already co-adapted situation. So we need to there is several challenge when we implement classical biological control nowadays. Thank you, David.
Doc Isan, there is a question from our colleague from the IWEB po. During the conduct of the study po, what is the insect sampling technique and which crop was used during the survey conducted?
Okay, so I use the stratified random sampling. So Yogyakarta is just a small province in Java Island, but we did a sample in all the main region. So in all the main region, we choose all the sub-district, and from each sub-district we collect we choose 2 until 3 maize field, and from the field we just collect all the insect, I mean the fall armyworm, including egg, larvae, and pupa, and we took them to the lab to see what kind of natural enemy emerged from our sample.
So from Sir Henry po, good day, Doc Isan. Are there any chance we can rear Telenomus sp and use as BCA? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Henry. This is a good question. So we move to the reality now. So Telenomus remus is very easy to rear in my colleague laboratory in Bogor Agricultural University. They already rear Telenomus remus because we already have this species for a long time, and we can use how to say we can use another egg like if you recognize Corsira cephalonica. This is the we use that egg to read Telenomus, and maybe if you're interested, you can read my publication in how we can read Telenomus, and we see the different performance. It's very easy. We can use many egg, not only Spodoptera frugivora. We also can use easier technique using Corsira cephalonica, and the performance is quite good. So it's very prospectful to be used as biological control agent. Thank you.
In relation to the question of Sir Henry Ruffin, how do you recommend to deploy this parasitoid in actual field once proven to be really efficient biocon agent?
Yeah, so in case in Indonesia, I don't know about the mechanism in other country. We need to give the recommendation to the government through the extension. We need to connect with the extension people here. So because they interact directly with the farmer. So we also have the organic farmer group that's always applied organic technique in controlling pests. They try to rear like entomopathogenic fungi and also PGPR, and now they want to try to rear parasitoids so they can release them and can is accessible easily when someone need it to apply. Yeah, the most important thing, we need the government interfere as the policy maker. That's why now the science-based policy is very important, so we can bridge between our result and the government needs, so we can save people in conducting plant cultivation, especially corn.
I'm from Bernard Panabang, Doc Isan. ACB also a major insect pest in your country before the arrival of FAW. What would it be fair to say that FAW does more good by pushing out the Asian corn borer as the most destructive insect pest of corn in Southeast Asia?
Okay, yes. ASEAN corn borer previously is the most, not only ASEAN corn borer, they attack together with Helicoverpa armigera. So we have two major, of course, corn pests in Indonesia, ASEAN corn borer and also Helicoverpa armigera. And previous work for my colleagues said when for armyworm coming, they replace the ASEAN corn borer and also another Lepidopteran attack. They dominate attack in east part of Indonesia, in East Java. Yeah. Also in China, it was reported that ASEAN corn borer replacing the ASEAN corn borer status as major pest of corn. That's why in the introduction I said that invasive species can threaten agricultural ecosystem, including loss of variety and also species homogenization. That's what happened here in other countries too.
Yes, it would really affect the diversity of the
Yes,
species in the
yes,
environment.
yes, yes. Also because they decreasing another pest, the local natural enemy losing their host. That's why the diversity of natural enemy itself decrease as their host lost because the domination from armyworm.
Yes. Another question from Maureen Ceres de Rojas. What do you think does Telenomus remus require in an environment for its conservation biological control?
Yes, I think it's more sustained to use conservation using Telenomus. Not only Telenomus, we also because conservation we mean we conserve all the natural enemy in its agricultural activity. That's why many things we need to consider in this control technique. I do not recommend using Telenomus remus itself, even though it is the most effective parasitoid. We need to consider another aspect like how we cultivate the corn itself, what kind of surrounding plant there, what kind of flowering insect we can put in the field as the conservation for parasitoid or other natural enemy. Because if we choose wrong plant combination in the field, the damage could be higher because there are polyphages that can attack hundreds of plant. So yes, yeah, in Indonesia, I don't know how what the situation in the Philippines. People now, especially in Yogyakarta, when they plant rice, corn, and other agricultural commodity, they put a flowering plant as conservation effort to conserve parasitoid and another natural enemy there.
So,
Thank you.
related din po sa in the questions from John Christopher Belina. Good morning, Doc Isan. Aside from using parasitoid, is there any predators of S. frugiperda?
Yes, we found some. Oh, thank you for the question, John. Yes, we found some predator, but I still not finished identifying them because we got so many sample. But the most predator like ant and also sting bug exist as their predator in our ecosystem. So here, because we have a lot of data, even though just a simple research, so we spread the result from the parasitoid, and now we just finished this parasitoid, and we will submit this to journal. So that's why I'm sorry I cannot share this file to other, because we're still in other publication consideration for publication. So maybe after publish you can read more about the parasitoid and we can prepare for the predator itself.
I'm sorry, we really learn a lot from your presentation. For the last questions po, regarding for your future plans, what are your future plans or researches in the pipeline related to the biological control of S. fujiperda?
Okay. Yeah, actually, I'm not working on Spodoptera frugivida itself. My focus work now is on beneficial insect. So as my future work, not me itself, but we are dreaming to make like a beneficial, how to say, like a factory for beneficial insects. So any kind of beneficial insect will be there. So when we need, we have accessibility to use them as biological control or other purposes. Because in Indonesia now it's very, almost we don't have any biological control industry like in Japan and Netherlands. So I'm dreaming to make it happen in Asia, especially in Indonesia.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I
Thank
think
you,
we
Isabel.
can. I think we can still accommodate one question from MC.
Yes.
From MC Wilson Decena. Good day, sir. I am MC Wilson Decena from CBSUA. My question is this: is it possible to incorporate Beauveria bassiana, a fungal entomopathogenic fungi, to Telenumus species as vector and also as BCA?
Yeah, thank you, Wilson Decena, for the question. Is it possible to use the Beauveria itself? But I don't know whether the Telenumus can be as vector or not. I also never heard about the parasitoid act as the vector for some spore of fungi. But yes, from other study, it was reported that Beauveria also existed as their pathogen associated with Spodoptera frugivida in the field. But to check the possibility using this fungi, using Telenumus as a vector, I think we need more study. And I think this is interesting study to prove our hypothesis whether they can be act as a factor or not. Thank you.
Yes, so there are a lot of potential regarding po sa Telenumus species. So thank you, Dr. Isan, for interacting with us and to have a meaningful conversation with our participants today. So, any message or parting words of inspiration or announcement perhaps to your Filipino audience po?
For me?
Yes po. I will give you the floor po for this session.
Okay, what message I can say? Yeah, it's difficult thing. I'm not prepared for this.
Okay.
Can you? But yeah. So what kind of participant is the student or?
Other students, faculties, mixed participants po, sir, from the UPLB and other industries.
Okay, so what can I say to other Philippine work? So let's work together to fix all the agricultural program, because I think we are friendship country. We have strong relation with Indonesia and also the Philippines. I have strong collaboration with Dr. Divina Amalin from De La Salle University and also with USDA. And I can, it's possible to expand my collaboration with other colleagues, especially from UPLB, so we can work together if you need my contact. So I allow you to share my contact to other if they need my contact, Isabel.
So,
Because
Sir,
now,
from
we can work not only as entomologists. Here also I open for collaboration from agronomy, soil scientists, and also another field of study, because now in the era we work with multidisciplinary scientists to fix some problem as the sustainability using sustainability approach. Thank you.
Yes, po, sir, because I am from the soil science po, so we are interested from the soil microbiology part, is the diversity of the microorganism if it's affected by pesticides or insecticide due to these Spodoptera frugiperda po. So
Okay.
it would be a nice collaboration in the future, and we are happy to have you today. And last question, sir, Doc Isan, is there a possibility of the NES to become pests in new environments? From Mom Sunshine Singon.
Okay, thank you, Sunshine. I think natural enemy is not pest, but yeah, natural enemy to become pest is, I'm not sure about this situation, but yeah, as I said before, if we do some introduction, maybe it will affect, disturb the ecological balance that already existed in our environment. But when natural enemy become pest, I think is like uncommon situation happen in any ecosystem. Thank you,
Yes.
Isabel.
Thank you, Doc Isan, and to all participants. You can, from our CAP Extension Committee, we can give you the contact details of Doc Isan if you have more questions, or if you are shy to ask question and you want to have a private conversation with him, the CAPS Extension Committee can give you the contact details of Dr. Isan. Again, Doc Isan, thank you so much for today. And
You are welcome.
And back to you, Ma'am Claire.
Thank you to all our viewers for actively participating in the open forum, and to Ms. Jessa for being our moderator. And of course, we're very thankful to Pa Isan for joining us today and sharing your knowledge with us. And just like Dr. Isan said, let's work together for this Spodoptera frugiperda and other insect weeds and pathogen that are being problems in our fields. So as part of our appreciation, allow us to present to you this certificate. So let me read the citation. College of Agriculture and Food Science, UP Los Baños, Laguna, Philippines, presents the certificate of appreciation to Izan Nurkumar for serving as the resource person on the webinar entitled The New Association Between the Invasive Pests Spodoptera frugiperda and Native Parasitoid Species in the Special Region Yogyakarta, Indonesia, during the Plant Health Webinar Series held on October 3, 2023 via Zoom. Given this third day of October 2023 at the College of Agriculture and Food Science, University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Signed, Dr. Elpidio M. Agbisid Jr., CAPS Dean. So once again, thank you very much, Pa Isan. We truly appreciate becoming part of this webinar series, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. So Aggies, so we hope to see you again in our episode 3, which will be held on October 19, 2023. For the next episode, we will be joined by Dr. Jesusa Legaspi to discuss the topic Push-Pull Technology and Companion Planting, a Dual Strategy for Insect Pest Management. You may register through the QR code flashed on the screen or visit and follow the official YouTube channel and CAF's Facebook page for the registration link and other updates and reminders from our College of Agriculture and Food Science. Okay? So now, as we come closer to the end of the episode, so we would like to invite on screen the esteemed Director of Agricultural Systems Institute, Dr. Rodmir F. Datuon, to give us some closing messages. Good morning, Sir Rodmir.
Good morning, everyone. I have the pleasure of giving the closing remarks for this morning's seminar. Many thanks to Assistant Professor Isa Nurkumar for sharing his very interesting, important, and timely study. We have learned a lot from this presentation. Studies like these are important as it leads to technologies for farmers to have many options in controlling pests in their field. This is very important as new pests threaten agriculture because of the changing climate. It is also imperative that we develop biological control technologies due to the rising cost of pesticides and as we focus more on the overall health and well-being of our farmers. Thank you again to Assistant Professor Nurkumar, and I hope your work inspires similar studies in the Philippines and across the Asian region. Thank you everyone for watching the seminar.
Thank you, Dr. Rodmir, for wrapping up today's episode. So participants, to be able to get a certificate of attendance via email, kindly answer the evaluation form that can be found on the link that will be posted here in the chat box and comment sections of FB and YouTube. You may also scan the QR code flashed on the screen. Okay. Yes. And that is it for the episode 2 of the Plant Health webinar series. I am certain that everyone is satisfied with all the learnings gained today. Thank you very much for spending your Tuesday morning with us. And once again, this is Claire Tabernilia at makita-kita po tayo ulit sa October 19 for our episode 3. Enjoy the rest of your day and ingat mga ka-Aggies. Paalam!